Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating young woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Grace Leger, and I am the owner and licensed massage therapist at Elite Massage and Injury Rehab based in Boulder, Colorado. A little bit about me and my story. I was born and raised in the suburbs in Minnesota, just outside Minneapolis. And I moved to Boulder, Colorado with my family in 2016, right in 8th grade. So I finished up my school there and started growing up. I was a competitive soccer player and a competitive runner. And when we moved here, I continued that. And in high school, I was doing both at the same time and absolutely loving it, but I was so busy and I was just going. There was even one time where I went right from a soccer game to a cross-country race. And I remember the night before, I was like freaking out about it, and I showed up and I did it all. And then the next day, my feet hurt really bad. And I started crying about it. I'm like 14, I think, at the time, and this was like my everything. And I went to doctor after doctor after doctor, and no one knew what was going on. And I just had this foot pain, and I was told that it was a stress fracture. And then it just wouldn't go away. We kept treating it as a stress fracture. I was in crutches. I was even in a wheelchair for a while. It was this like year-long thing of going from doctor to doctor, and no one could figure out what was going on. And after a year, my coach ended up sitting down with me and realizing that I was wearing too small of shoes. And something little like that caused, like all it ended up taking was like 2 weeks to do like PT exercises and massage on it to feel better after a year of pain, because all I needed was one person to sit down with me and actively listen and try to problem solve with me. Someone that was more educated on soft tissue work and on kinesiology and anatomy. All of that to say, that is how I started Elite Massage and Injury Rehab. That same principle of like wanting to be that person for someone else. So that is what Elite Massage kind of encapsulates, is we are like a goal-oriented massage clinic. And it means a lot to me. We attract a lot of clients with chronic pain specifically. I've also dealt with a really big rib injury that transitioned me out of running back when I was in high school. And that was really big for me. I had a bad weightlifting incident my sophomore year of high school and was under very poor supervision at the gym, and ended up popping a rib out of place. And ever since then, I have hypermobile ribs. And turns out no one knows what hypermobile ribs are. and there's not a lot of guidance around it. So it was the same cycle all over again. And I stopped running, I stopped moving, I was in so much pain. Like anything that I did, like even just taking a deep breath, I popped a rib out of place and was just always in pain, couldn't take a deep breath for like 5 years. And I didn't have someone to listen to me and educate me about my body. And so I just kind of dug myself into this hole, and I wasn't able to climb out of it until I went to massage school. I went to massage school, and well, first of all, massage school changed my life. It was very inspirational to meet a bunch of other healers and just be surrounded by them all the time in school. It was amazing. And massage school actually taught me to not be afraid of my body and not be scared to try new things. To this day, like I'm a really big boxer. I am actually training for my first charity boxing match in June, which is wild. But I got into that because of mental health reasons. But while I started doing it, it aggravated my ribs, and doctors, PTs, everyone told me not to do it. And I just decided to say, screw it. And I showed up anyway. And I don't know what happened, but like 6 weeks to the dot, I like woke up and my ribs were still popping out, but they weren't as painful anymore because I wasn't scared of it. I was like, yes, they are going to pop out. And when they do, I'll just do this. And then over time, that boxing ended up strengthening my intercostals in my ribs. And it's the best thing that's happened to my ribs. I now know if I stop boxing for a couple of weeks, I can feel it and my ribs start to pop out a little bit more. So all of that, I'm sharing that as a part of my story because that is what's shaped me into the woman I am today and the business that I run. And a lot of my clients come in with some kind of chronic pain, and they've tried going to doctors, and the doctors have ruled out structural issues or surgical options or anything serious like that. And they come to me when they don't know what's going on and there's a musculoskeletal issue. And we track that bad boy down and we figure out what's going on. And then I usually give them stretches, exercises, referrals to other healers or practitioners. And then they come in for massage and we figure it out. We get them out of pain. I have one client that came in 2 weeks ago that was new with occipital neuralgia. And she's had chronic migraines essentially for the last 10 years of her life and has never done anything that's made it feel better. And she's tried like a laundry list of things. And we worked together for an hour and she got off the table and started crying because for the first time, her migraine went from like an 8 out of 10 to like a 3 or 4 out of 10. And then I started crying and it was this whole thing. And it's like, there is no better feeling than being able to help someone that doesn't know what to do. They're in so much pain and doesn't know where it's coming from and feels helpless with their chronic pain. There is no better feeling than the second they get off the table and they feel better and they know what they can do to stay feeling better. So that's what we do. And it's very exciting, and we're expanding our team this summer. Aside from that, I have a 13-year-old orange tabby cat named Walter at home who has a big personality. And like I said, I'm a boxer, less of a runner now, and I do a lot of yoga, and I'm thinking about learning how to crochet.
Grace, thank you so much for coming online and sharing your story with us today. It's amazing what can happen when somebody transforms a major illness into a business. You know, a lot of people ask me how I started her story. And it all started when I was recovering from congestive heart failure and needing a community of support around me when I was going through my divorce. And now I look back, I've got a community of 180,000 women in 45 countries. It's absolutely crazy what can be done. So what have been some of the biggest fears or challenges that you faced in the early days of setting up your business?
For sure. I would say honestly knowing what to do. I started my business when I was 20 years old and had never taken a business class before. So navigating all of those steps at the very beginning, it was completely on my own. And the only business guidance I had was one business class in massage school. And that was like enough to get the basics, but nothing crazy. And I ended up, after I got like logistically everything set up and I got my office and I got all the supplies and all the things, and it came to marketing, I had to look inward and be like, okay, what brands online, what companies do I admire? Okay, I'll just try to do something similar. So I made an Instagram, a social media page, and I remember just working on one of my clients. This was back when I had like 2 clients a week. Like I was like baby business. I was like renting 1 or 2 days a week at an office space. I didn't even have my own thing. And I was just thinking while I was working on clients, I was like, what is a piece of information that I would want to know when I was going through all of my adversities with my ribs and feet and everything? And I'm like, I would want to know how to release muscles on my own. Like, that's so cool. Like, and that's information that I tell my clients all the time. And so it's been, and I went with it and it took off on like the second video. And now I've built this amazing brand and this amazing community on social media of people with injuries, chronic pain, people just trying to take care of their body. And I'm able to provide them with an accessible option, accessible education to fix their headache or to increase their shoulder range of motion and increase the longevity of their bodies. Yeah.
So how has your identity as a young minority woman shaped your entrepreneurial experience? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yep. It's made me a lot more resilient and fiery and very, very motivated. Anyone, like my business coach will tell you that I'm impatient because I'm ready. I'm ready for the next thing and I'm ready to build. And it's like there's a little voice inside me as a minority, like as a young woman running a business that's going to be expanding into a much larger setting this summer. There's a little voice inside of me that's like, come on, let's go. You got this. Like, you're going to do it. Like everyone, like it's, little voice inside of me is like, prove everyone wrong. Like be that 20, I'm not 23, but be that 23-year-old that's running this business.
That is just beautiful. So why did you choose massage therapy and how did you build your unique approach to it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I chose massage therapy because when I had I still have, but my rib injury, when that occurred, massage was one of the only things that made me feel better. And at the time, I had my own massage therapist that helped just encourage me to do certain exercises and stretches. And he educated me on what was going on. And at the time, being a 15-year-old young woman, no one was telling me what was going on with my body. No one was educating me on what was actually happening. And and I could talk about that for hours, but massage was one of the only things that made me feel better.
Yeah.
And
so
so
social media seems to have played a very big role in building your brand. What's your content strategy?
Yeah, my content strategy is to post every 3 to 4 days and keep empowering clients to followers to take control of their chronic pain. And doing that, giving them accessible muscle release videos, fascial release videos, educational content in general, and answering questions in the comments does that. So that strategy of just posting regularly, being a reliable source, checking my direct messages regularly and answering their questions, and being a sense of being a guiding light in whatever their journey is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pivotal. So can
Yeah.
you share a moment when you thought about giving up and what pulled you through that difficult time?
Yeah, that's a good question. The first year of my business, I was only like, this was only going to be temporary. Like, I was like, I'm just going to take some private clients until I originally wanted to go to grad school for sports psychology. And
Right.
a year into my business, I went out to a happy hour with a friend, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna sell my business and sell it or give it up or whatever in another year, and then I'm gonna go to grad school. And she was like, really? What? Like, you built this platform, you have all these clients. Why would you do that? And I'd never asked myself that question. And so,
Right.
but like that whole entire first year, I was like, no, like this is temporary. I'm not going to do it. And because I knew doing it meant in like it was a really big deal to keep doing it, because I was going to have to expand and invest and be a businesswoman. And I hadn't wrapped my head around that yet.
Yeah.
So I had about like a week around there that I was like, I'm not sure. I don't know. And then I was like, screw this. Let's just do it. Let's just keep going. And I was like, don't worry about everything that can go wrong. Just worry about the things that are going right. What's the next thing you're going to do?
Yeah, it's true, because most of the times we get stuck on things going wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that just holds you back. You can't move forward. It's focusing on what's actually going right.
Yeah. Yep.
That's very good advice.
Yeah.
So now that the business has taken off, what advice would you give to other young women who are looking to enter the wellness or entrepreneurial world?
Yeah. Do it. But also, don't be afraid to assert yourself into regular business networking events and business things. Like,
Yes.
if you're nervous that you're not able to do a certain thing in the business world, like accounting or marketing or whatever it is, go take a class on it, go learn about it. And any kind of fear there around learning something or going to a networking event where most of the business people are not body workers. To this day, I go to the Boulder Chamber events and they're super fun and great, but I'm almost always the only body worker or healer or wellness practitioner in the room.
Right.
And so use that as an advantage. You use that as an advantage, because when you say that you're a massage therapist or an acupuncturist or yoga instructor, people perk up. They want to, all they're hearing is these other like tech people or bankers, and that is wonderful. But
yes,
your niche to your advantage, and people will perk up during those business conversations, and you're more likely to get clients or get a word of mouth referral or make new connections. Any kind of fear that you have around asserting yourself in the business world, sit with it. It's valid. Give yourself a pep talk and go anyway. Because I've never come out of a business event where I've overcome that fear, been to the event, socialized with people. I've never gotten back in my car and been like, I shouldn't have gone. That wasn't good. It's only good things have come out of it, but it's hard.
So how do you manage your time and energy and running a business while showing up online?
Yeah. I have a very good balance of the time that I spend on social media. I don't let myself generally scroll at all, just like on content. I go on Instagram and I shoot all my videos. I do it twice a month. I have a content day. I shoot a bunch of videos. Every 3 days, I have my planner, and I see in my planner that I'm going to post this video on that day, and I post it, and then I get off. So I'll maybe check in 3 times a month and go through comments, DMs. I'll see how videos are doing, anything like that. But I've learned that if I'm very invested in my online presence, then it can give me a lot of anxiety, actually, if I go through every single comment, or I'm nervous about how one video is doing over the other. Yeah.
So what are the misconceptions that people have about massage therapy and about you as a businesswoman?
Yeah, that's a good question. As massage therapists in general, common misconception is that massage is just for relaxation. Massage is a massage therapy. It is like physical therapy. It's just a different modality. Instead of strengthening, we're loosening muscles. And massage and physical therapy are very complementary. To anyone watching, if you're going through an injury or any type of chronic pain and you're seeing a physical therapist, go see a massage therapist too, please.
Okay.
Because you cannot, it's very difficult to strengthen already angry, tight muscles. So if
Yes.
you go get them relaxed and then you go to your PT, you will heal and recover so much faster.
Awesome.
And no one knows that. So please go do that.
Oh, love it.
Yep. And then misconceptions about me. A lot of people don't think I'm as smart or as driven as I am. I very much come off as this like sweet, like, oh yeah, I have my own business and yeah, it's doing great. And there's this whole this I'm a very ambitious person. I've been underestimated by a lot of specifically men. Yes, people, a lot of men in the business world are like, oh, you're running your business? That's cute. Good job. I had an um, I had an old colleague come up to me, ran into me at this event, and greeted me with a high five, saying, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" And I'm like, "That's not no."
Oh,
Um,
patronizing.
yeah, so it's like overcoming stuff like that. But I think,
Yeah.
yeah, as a 23-year-old blonde, young businesswoman, very like, oh, I'm
They
just here.
underestimate.
Yeah.
They definitely underestimate you. So how do you keep your clients engaged and coming back in a competitive environment?
Yeah. Giving them valuable sessions, giving them every time they come in, we will do a thorough intake specifically for first sessions, but every time they come in, we'll do a thorough intake where we are actively listening. We will talk about their pain until I understand their pain.
Yes.
And I will ask them a bunch of follow-up questions and we'll walk through what we're going to do for the massage. Then they get on the table, we do the massage. While the massage is happening, I'm telling them and educating them about their tissue and about what I'm feeling in their
Right.
tissue. And I'm educating them about how their pelvis sits, or, oh, this feels interesting. I wonder if this limited range of motion is causing this. And we are problem solving their pain. We are trying to track it down. It's the most fun game in the world. And yeah, and then they get off the table and we do outtake. And usually outtake with a massage therapist is drink water. And
Okay.
drinking water's good. Drinking water's great. But we will sit with the client and walk them through exercises, stretches. I will literally, for clients' first sessions, while they're getting dressed, I take a sticky note out and I am writing down, like, I'm mentally vomiting any information I can think of that would help them. And I overwhelm them and I say, here's everything that I know. And this is why this would help. This is why this would help. This is why this would help. Take it or leave it. Take whatever resonates and feels right. But here are all your options. And usually we're talking about muscle releases, different practitioners, the mind-body connection around chronic pain, all the different things. And that's what keeps people coming back, because they know that they're cared for, they're supported, and we are on their team and we're empowering them to feel better.
I love that. Now, do you have any mentors or figures who've helped you shape your path?
For sure. My business coach, Carrie Mason, has helped me immensely. We first started working together a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. And since we've started planning the expansion this summer, we've been upping our meetings, and he's been extremely amazing to work with. And I'm so grateful for his guidance. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, I want to end our interview with 2 questions, which are a bit of a thought experiment.
Mm-hmm.
In the one, I'm going to teleport you into the past, to that young woman who was going through chronic pain, couldn't find a solution to her problem, then turned her problem into a business.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case there's somebody who's listening to us right now who's in the same position, if you could go back and give yourself 3 nuggets of wisdom based on what life has taught you up until this point, what would those 3 nuggets of wisdom be?
That's a good question. I would say, don't be afraid of your own body. It's not going to hurt you. Any kind of fear that you're having, if you push through it, you will come out a better person. And any fear that you're having is an opportunity to grow. And third, I would say, don't be afraid to do what's not being done. And that applies in the business world, in the personal world. That applies when I was told that I shouldn't try boxing, and because no one has really done boxing with hypermobility, and I did it and it works. And in the business world. Yeah.
I love it. Some real nuggets there. Last question, I will teleport you into the future. And we are going to go and have a conversation with a 90-year-old you. She is sitting in her rocking chair. Maybe she's on a massage table doing her thing. If I could teleport you to meet this wise woman who has led you up until this point, who's created a legacy of healing through her work, what will you say to her when you finally meet her?
Ooh. I will say that I hope that I did everything in my control to live a fulfilled life and do everything that I can do while I can do it in this life, and do it to the best of my ability.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for coming online and sharing your story with us today. It always inspires me when I meet young entrepreneurs who are just starting out on their journeys. So are you also working remotely, or is it just in person? How can people connect and engage with you?
Yeah, definitely. Visiting our website has any and all the information you need. At the moment, I'm not doing online consultations, although that might come in the future. Right now, I'm taking massage therapy clients in Boulder, Colorado at our office. And then I have a handful of therapists that work under me, under my same modalities too here. Otherwise, you can always message me on social media and connect with me that way if you want some light encouragements or general advice.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Grace, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who tuned in today. The Her Story Circle is not just a podcast. We are a social impact movement that brings you the stories and voices of women from all over the world. We share our stories to uplift you, to inspire you, to energize you, but most importantly, to help take you from where you are now to where you're trying to go. So if you are experiencing chronic pain, here is a solution for you. And combining it, like you said, Grace, with your physiotherapy and massage therapy, your healing will come much, much faster. I'll be back again tomorrow, everybody, when I interview yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And Grace, thanks again for the interview.
Thank you for having me.
Bye for now, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story.